Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We are in the winner match of the round of 16's Group B. This is the final group before we're in the round of 8. And we're going to have a Protoss go through. Either Movie here in the bottom left of Nemesis or Invade over on the bottom right. So yeah, going to have a mirror matchup here and then in the losers match as well. Finishing it all off with a PVZ to see who is going to end up being able to advance. Between these two, I mean, you have to give the edge to Movie. You know, PvP he's always been pretty strong at. I don't think you can say too much negatively about him in this matchup. Invade did certainly play very well so far in this tournament, so kind of holding my breath and seeing where this guy can still go to. But that would be a huge result for him. He's definitely, like, if you look at the list of players, I'd never guess this guy would be playing for a round of 8 spot right now, honestly. He's like a guy where if he makes a round of 16, I feel like, great, he's in a good spot for himself, right? He's doing well for himself. Now, for this particular map, okay, Nemesis PvP, I've talked about this a lot in PvP casts. But if you take a look here, this is not a downwards ramp, by the way. This is a flat ramp. This is not high ground. This is not high ground. This is all the same. It is a very annoying thing. Even out here, none of these are ramps. They made them look like ramps. Honestly, 100%, if a map maker is listening to this, please don't ever do this, where you have things that completely look like ramps but are not. It messes with a StarCraft player's brain. But anyways, this is all flat. So because it's flat, it becomes a little bit more rock, paper, scissors in PvP. And of course, forgive me if you've heard this before, because you probably have, because you watch me and I have to bring it up on maps like this. If you do not have a ramp, then it's hard to do anything against someone who has more Dragoons than you, which makes 3-gate Dragoon very, very powerful on a map like this. Now, if this is high ground and this is low ground, it literally becomes rock, paper, scissors. Like Gladiator, for instance. We saw that when it was in KSL and in ASL. It is actually rock, paper, scissors at that point because Dark Templars beat 3-gate Goon, Observers beat Dark Templar, and 3-gate Goons beat Observers, right? So that's the triangle. It exists somewhat on a map like this that's completely flat. There's a little bit more play than if this was high ground because it's a little bit more breakable. But I'm just throwing that out there, right? Just as something to keep in mind as you watch this, because we'll probably see very sharp builds from these two. Okay? Dragoon range gets started, obviously, while the probe is still in here. This probe's still in here. A later cybernetics core, as he is making a couple of zealots instead of a singular zealot. The zealot gets over before the Dragoon is out and is going to try to go after some probes. Invade trying to get that early damage. He's dealt a lot of damage to probes so far. One probe goes down. Is he going to get a second? No, he doesn't get a second. So overall, this was not the greatest harassment here from Invade. Sacrifices the zealot to kill one probe and is going to lose his scout probe, whereas Movie gets his own probe out. So you can see that advantage for Movie as far as like the cost benefit type thing goes. Okay, so now we're going to see what builds they actually want to do. And you see for Movie, notice he's going Dark Templar. So he's expecting a 3-gate play. Will it be a 3-gate play? It's a 3-gate play. So Movie wins this game. Like I said, once again, it turns into rock, paper, scissors. The odds of you being able to hold this as the 3-gate player are almost 0. Like, you would need, for not only Movie, who's, you know, a pro that's been around for a long time, to make a bad mistake and chase your goons with the Dark Templars, but you'd need, like, him to not send anything here to kill a photon cannon. That's the quickest detection you can get, so, like, forged photon cannon would be your best case scenario for trying to survive. But it basically doesn't happen and can't really happen as soon as you get to a decent level. Like, honestly, as soon as you hit even B rank, I would expect that almost never occurs. But, you know, maybe occasionally you get a game like that. Now, Movie is pressuring relatively hard here. He's trying to keep Invade busy. He's picking off what he can. He's trying to utilize superior macro, and it's about even, honestly. Like, they're going to come out with about the same amount of units here. Movie is not sending another unit. There it is. Another Dragoon is coming up. Looks like he actually gets the first volley. That's kind of funny. So he ends up winning that one. That's very annoying. And now Movie sees that he wins the game. He's going to be very happy about that. If he starts a forge right now, there's a small chance. A small chance. But of course, if you start a forge, you can't afford your 3-gate goons. And if your opponent's going 3-gate goon and you went forge, you lose. Okay? Or if you're going 3-gate goon and you go forge, and your opponent is going Reaver or Observer, they're going to be fine because you're not making goons nonstop. See what I mean? Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so the 2 DTs are coming out, and this game is just going to end. I think as soon as he sees the DTs, he'll probably just GG. He may have seen those, he may not have. Like, you don't know what he's looking at with his actual eyeballs. Okay, so he did see him because he's trying the forge, right? Again, this is the quickest way to get detection out. What you're supposed to do is hold position on the ramp. He's going to try to make a wall. I don't believe that works. Makes the forge. Walks right through because that's not a wall against DTs. And GG. Game 1 goes to Movie easily. So going into game number 2 here, we have the probe just kind of scouting around for Invade on this 2-player map. There are proxy gate locations that could be utilized. Getting his own gateway and gas up. This map also can suffer from the rock, paper, scissors effect that I was talking before. It is somewhat flat there. So, you know, the same thing can occur. This one is not as wide open because of some of these ledges and stuff, but you can put Dragoons up here, which can exacerbate the problem. So I think the best thing we can do is hope here that no one goes DT, right? Because that at least gives us some play. Like, even with 3-gate Goon against, like, an Observer opener, there's at least some play there, right? Like, unlike the DT builds. But anyways, you know, we'll see what they decide to open up with. Both sides going for ZeLoTs. A little bit of probe harassment going on here from Invade. Obviously, he's not going to actually get any kills or anything. He's trying to annoy him and make him lose mining time, like run a probe or something, but that's not going to happen. The ZeLoT comes out and will begin to chase this probe. Waiting for the Dragoons until anything else really occurs. ZeLoT in the choke back at home for Invade. And after the goons come out, that's kind of when you see the tech go up, right? That's when you can fully chase the probe out of your base. Obviously, you don't want your opponent to know what you're doing in Protoss vs. Protoss, since you can get, like, completely free victories like that DT game that we saw from Movie previously. So he knows the timing, of course, of that Dragoon coming out and does pop out of that base ASAP. And now we're going to see the tech. What are we going to see from these guys? Movie just kind of checking that nothing is around here with his Dragoon. He's done almost 0 scouting so far this game, just right now kind of figuring out what's going on. Dragoon on the high ground there for Invade. That's actually kind of a cute move. Like, this would definitely be an incoming Dragoon. And then, of course, you got the ZeLoT as well. And in fact, even putting that up there, huh? That's kind of neat. All right, Robo. So it's a Robo opener here from Invade. Maybe he's scarred from that previous game. And a Robo open for Movie. So this is actually going to be a good PvP, right? If one of them was going 3-gate, they'd have a huge advantage. If one of them was going DT, they'd have a huge disadvantage. But they're both going for the Robo. So at this point, it's like, do you go Observer or do you go Reaver? If you think your opponent is going 3-gate, you go Reaver. If you think there's a chance that he is going for anything else, you go Observer. So this is going to be 3-gate with Observer for Movie. So he's hedging a little bit. Obviously, the gates are going to be later because he had to afford this Robo. So, you know, you're basically down against a 3-gate opener, a few Dragoons. A 2nd gate goes up for Invade. This is a little bit more nebulous. This could be 2-gate Observer, but it could actually be Reaver as well. We'll see about that just in a moment, and it is going to be Reaver. Right? You can't really afford to go Reaver while going 3 gates. You can see this can add Reaver later, but for now it's going to be Observer. So, looking at this, it is slightly advantaged for Invade, but it's not the end of the world. You're going to have very good scouting intel as Movie with that Observer. Of course, your opponent can go for an Observer and then pick those off as well. And in fact, he is getting the Observatory. So it looks like he's going Shuttle into Observatory and then into Reaver Tech. So that's he's kind of trying to do a lot of things at once here. Trying to make sure he doesn't die to DTs. And also trying to get Reavers out to fight against possible 3 gates or, you know, other Reavers as well. All right, so first Observer is out. We have the support bay up on the other side being made here by Invade. Just another pylon going up there. Another Observer as well. You know, once you get up to a very high level, you can do things like you know when the Observer will pop out. And you can send the DTs when you think the Observer's moving across the map and walk it around. So definitely some good moves can be had. In this case, of course, is Observer with the Reaver on the way. So let's take a look at these armies. We have 7 Dragoons against 7 Dragoons. So it will come down to micro. It looks like Movie got the first volley there and a bit better targeting. The ZeLoT is still alive here for Movie, but not for Invade. So it really feels like he's being pretty heavily outdone, but we are closer to his gates, so he can get those reinforcing units a little bit quicker. But Movie, honestly, is just Hulk smashing him right now. Don't forget as well, Movie does have that additional gateway, which is giving him a little bit more pressure here. That Reaver's about to pop out, and this is really unfortunate because he's getting in just as the Reaver's popping out. Invade barely gets away with the Reaver. This Reaver has to do some magic here if Invade is going to be able to take this game. And the probes are actually doing some excellent blocking. Good Reaver hit. He has 3 Dragoons against 4 now, so it's getting more manageable, especially when a Scarab hits. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Movie right now trying... He's actually... Okay, so he targeted the Reaver, and then he targeted the Shuttle, and then he targeted the Dragoon. So a little bit indecisive there for sure. It's better to put all that damage onto one target. Whatever target it is, it's definitely better than taking shields off everything. Anyways, a second Reaver is coming out. Invade holds reasonably well. He's down 4 workers at the moment. He has the double Reaver now, but Reavers are going to be coming out for Movie after his Nexus. He's gotten his own Reaver tech. And basically, what you're going to need to do here as Invade is either hit some very good harassment or do a push. And for Movie, he just wants to get Reavers out here so that he can kind of easily defend against a push. If your opponent has Reaver Shuttle and you have just Reaver, the Shuttle will just make his Reavers dodge infinitely and you will die. But, of course, there are moves to run out with Dragoons, try to snipe things and stuff like that, right? So still more Dragoons being produced by Invade. He's still making some probes as well. So we haven't seen his full decision. Well, now we have. Now we have. He puts a Nexus up at his natural. So he's going to go into more of a macro play. He is behind on workers. His Nexus is slower. He does have a slight Reaver advantage, and he already has his Shuttle. So that's kind of the state of things for Invade. I think Movie's going to be slightly happier with his position, especially as his Observer flies in and see what's what. You know, he does have still a little bit better production as well as far as those gateway units go. You know, Reavers are great, but you definitely do need the gateway units there to support as well. Observer gets picked off for Movie, who tries to run towards the front here. He's going to see that there's a Nexus, but the 2 Reavers easily turn him around. Very hurt Shuttle, by the way, and I haven't seen Shuttle speed researched yet. So this could end up being a liability for Invade. If you end up picking up these Reavers and this gets picked off because it's at low health, that will oftentimes cost you the game. Those 2 Reavers are incredibly important. So probe going to go out. Maybe, I think this is just going to put some pylons around the map, honestly. Like, I guess you could put it in front to scout if you don't want your Observer being picked. Right, that's a move that can occur where Dragoons run out with the Observer to pick off your opponent's scouting Observer. But it's also good to put some pylons in various places around the map to see Reavers trying to sneak out for harassment, that type of thing. So third gate coming up here for Invade. He's down 6 workers and about 20 supply. That's quite the difference that we see between the additional gateway and the few extra workers that Movie has had. You can definitely see that Movie is way more optimized than Invade. Obviously, he did a different build to open with, like a slightly different build. So that's part of the reason as well. But he's definitely flowed better into this macro portion of this game. Now, It looks like we're going to have a push from Movie. Let's see the Reaver juggling here. Okay, tries to blow up the Reavers. They do get picked up in time. Some good Scarabs coming out of Movie. Movie, like, very brave with his Reavers, just chugging forward. Look at this. The Scarabs are going to be insane for Invade. Blowing up so many Dragoons so quickly. He does not have his shuttle anymore, though, so the Reavers can kill his Reavers very, very easily. Reavers kill each other in 2 shots. And, in fact, down go those 2 Reavers. Only 1 Reaver remains with 3 Dragoons. We're close to Invade's base, so if his gates are about to pop out some units, that could help out. But definitely the advantage going heavily to Movie right now. He kills some probes. He gets rid of mining at the natural. He's eliminated all of his opponent's Reavers while he still has a Reaver and shuttle here. He is using up his Scarabs on the Nexus, which is going to allow, or help, rather, Invade to have a better chance of coming out and breaking this, because Scarabs shoot faster than they build, so once you use them up, the cadence of attack is lower. He kills the Nexus. Okay, Invade has to go all in from here. But how do you go all in with the same unit set and less of everything? More gates are being added, so Movie going up to 6 gate. 6-gate Reaver is basically what 2 bases can do. 4-gate Reaver, yeah, that's about all that we can see from Invade. I don't think there's any real chance for him to get out of here. Like, it's going to be so cost inefficient. Even if he breaks out of here, you then have to go across the map and kill Movie. And he's going to have plenty of time to create more units in that little window as well. And with how small an army you're going to have after breaking out through this cost inefficient location, it's just bad news all around. Now picking off that pylon a little bit. The double Reaver going to want to try to push, but of course, I don't think that the Reavers can hit these goons. Scarabs sometimes can do long travel distances to get to units, but generally they dud if they try something like that. Now, he's going to push these back because he has to. He's not even going to try with the Reavers. He knows that that is very unlikely to work. More Dragoons come up to kind of try to punish. You do miss half the shots shooting uphill, and saw he did almost no damage to those Dragoons, so a little bit sad. I believe we have shuttle speed. Yeah, that looks like it to me, definitely. So maybe the shuttle speed can make a difference here for Invade. Slow shuttle comes up, very damaged as well, with a secondary Reaver. All right, going to drop these Reavers to try to pop these 4 goons. He's going to get excellent, excellent shots. So down those go. He doesn't lose too much clearing that, at least. Yeah, that Dragoon unable to get around. We'll see if he can get some good hits here with his Reavers, though. Ooh, that's a pretty big hit. Okay, does get the pick up there, at least. Oh, he takes a bit there. Surprised he didn't pick that up. Okay, the Dragoons came forward. They were trying to get a snipe there, but a little bit too quick by Invade. That's why shuttle speed can be so useful. That's a bit much. I mean, he's got to try something, so I can't speak too poorly of it. But trying to go a little bit too far out there. Okay, does pick that up. Going to lose the shuttle. So now Movie can go ahead and try to cleanse this, but that means this is the moment for Invade to try to push out. Here we go. Coming out, he gets 1 Reaver, tries to go for the second, misses his volleys there because of the quick pickup. And, well, Invade should have enough to just break out here. Trying to kill off this Reaver before it gets his Reavers. Ooh, good kills. Good kills. And 4 Dragoons against 4 here at the end. Movie, of course, will not be able to keep this containment up. But if we look in the top right, it's going to ruin the suspense, unfortunately, because 40 supply advantage for Movie. Looking back at his base, he has far more than enough. That was only a piece of his army that we had Invade break out through. And from here, and the thing is, that's the right play by Movie, by the way, because, like, that leaves Invade down to, like, okay, do you trade kind of evenly and then get overwhelmed, or do you try to counter stab against a big army that he has at home, right? Like some sort of speed shuttle play. And just none of it's going to end up working out for him. I mean, 3 Snows playing this together couldn't pull this out with these Reavers. The Dragoons walking in for Movie, and it looks like that is going to be Movie advancing as one of our last players into that round of 8. A big name to be entering into these final bracket phases of the tournament. Invade putting up a good shot, and he'll get one more later in the tournament.